In 2024, two leadership decisions cost over $80 billion combined and destroyed companies that were once industry titans. While 72% of CEOs today feel used up at the end of each day, according to the 2023 Global Leadership Forecast, the real question isn't about burnout. It's about the deadly mistake both Boeing's Dave Calhoun and FTX's Sam Bankman-Fried made that you might be making right now. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact leadership pattern that destroys billion-dollar companies, the 3 warning signs appearing in your organization right now, and the framework successful executives use to avoid this trap entirely. This isn't theory from business school. These are real case studies from 2024 with verified data you can implement immediately. Here's what actually happened. Both companies made the same critical error. They prioritized short-term metrics over long-term trust. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't just bad judgment. According to the National Transportation Safety Board's June 2025 report on Boeing, this was a systemic issue. Leaders knew about the problems, received warnings, and chose profits anyway. Let me break down the numbers. Boeing's 737 MAX crisis has cost the company an estimated $20 billion in direct fines, compensation, and legal fees. But indirect losses, over $60 billion from 1,200 canceled orders, according to Wikipedia's comprehensive analysis. That's $80 billion total from decisions made in boardrooms just like yours. And FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried was sentenced in March 2024 to 25 years in prison and ordered to forfeit $11 billion. But here's the critical insight most leaders miss. Both CEOs had multiple opportunities to course correct. Dave Calhoun was brought in specifically to fix Boeing's culture after the initial MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019 killed 346 people. Instead, in January 2024, another door plug blew out mid-flight. If you're getting value from these Fortune 500 insights and want to avoid these billion-dollar mistakes in your own leadership, hit that subscribe button right now. We break down executive strategies like this every week that actually work in today's business world. And turn on notifications so you never miss these insider strategies. Strategy number 1, recognize the warning sign pattern. Here's what Boeing and FTX both did wrong, and what you need to do differently. According to a June 2025 CPA Journal analysis, Boeing's corporate culture placed profit maximization ahead of aircraft safety. Whistleblowers testified before the Senate that the company had eliminated quality inspectors and required workers to sign off on their own work. Think about that. They removed the checks and balances to hit production targets. The warning signs were everywhere: internal emails from employees raising concerns, regulators questioning procedures, even customers. Airline CEOs like United's Scott Kirby publicly stated in March 2024 that Boeing needs to become a better company. But leadership ignored every single signal. Here are the 3 specific warning signs appearing in your organization right now. First, your team stops raising concerns. When Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun ran the company, a former VW executive who experienced a similar culture told Reuters, if you presented bad news, those were the moments that it could become quite unpleasant and loud and quite demeaning. Sound familiar? Second, you're hitting short-term targets but losing long-term partnerships. Boeing kept delivering planes, but by mid-2024, they'd lost $6 billion in a single quarter, their most significant loss since 2020. Third, you're defending decisions instead of investigating them. When the January 2024 door plug blew out, Boeing initially deflected the blame. The NTSB had to call them out for withholding evidence publicly. Here's your immediate action step. This week, create anonymous channels for concerns, not suggestion boxes, real channels with guaranteed follow-up. Patagonia does this brilliantly with their Let My People Go Surfing policy, where any employee can stop production if they see quality issues. Strategy number 2, master the trust equation. Sam Bankman-Fried's fall shows exactly what happens when you break it. In November 2022, FTX collapsed in just 10 days, from a $32 billion valuation to bankruptcy. Why? Because Bankman-Fried used what Judge Lewis Kaplan called misleading but technically true statements. He told customers their deposits were safe, technically true on paper, while secretly transferring $8 billion to his trading fund Alameda Research. The judge at his March 2024 sentencing said something that every leader needs to hear. A thief who takes his loot to Las Vegas and successfully bets the stolen money is not entitled to a discount on the sentence by using his winnings to pay back what he stole. Translation: you can't undo trust violation with later success. Quick question before we continue. Which of these warning signs are you seeing in your organization right now? Drop it in the comments below. And if this breakdown is helping your leadership thinking, smash that like button. These case studies take hours of research to verify every fact. Here's the trust equation that both companies violated. Trust equals credibility times reliability times intimacy divided by self-interest. Credibility. Are you telling the complete truth, not just technically accurate statements? Reliability. Do you do what you promise repeatedly, not just once? Intimacy. Do stakeholders feel safe in raising concerns without fear of retaliation? Self-interest. Are you making decisions for the company's long-term health or your quarterly bonus? Compare this to successful leaders. When Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff discovered pay inequities in 2015, he didn't keep them a secret. He spent $3 million immediately to fix it, and made it public. That's low self-interest, high trust. When Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky had to lay off 25% of staff in 2020, he gave affected employees 12 months of health insurance and a recruitment platform. That's reliability plus intimacy. Your action step: run this equation on your last 3 major decisions. If self-interest scored higher than credibility, you're on the wrong path. Specifically, did you make the decision that looks best for you or best for your customers? Strategy 3. Build real accountability systems, not theater. Both Boeing and FTX had compliance programs, both had board oversight, both had ethics codes, and both completely failed. Why? Because they built accountability theater, not actual accountability. Here's what fake accountability looks like. Boeing raised CEO Dave Calhoun's compensation to $32.8 million in 2023, a 45% increase, despite ongoing safety crises. FTX had ethics guidelines while Bankman-Fried was literally lying about customer funds. That's theater. Before I show you real accountability, here's something important. Business leaders who implement these strategies are joining our community for weekly insights just like this. Executives and entrepreneurs use these breakdowns to avoid billion-dollar mistakes. If you want to think and lead like the top 1%, subscribe and hit that notification bell. These real-world strategies are what separate winners from everyone else. Real accountability has 3 components. First, independent oversight with teeth, not board members who are friends of the CEO. Boeing's board voted in 2021 to extend Calhoun's retirement age to keep him, despite mounting problems. That's capture, not oversight. Real example. When Intel's board saw performance issues in 2018, they replaced CEO Brian Krzanich within days. No drama, no excuses. Second, consequences that hurt, not the fines the company pays. Personal accountability. When Wells Fargo's fake account scandal broke, CEO John Stump forfeited $41 million in compensation and was personally banned from banking. Compare that to Bankman-Fried's approach. He paid himself bonuses while customer funds disappeared. The DOJ calculated he stole over $10 billion. Third, public commitment to measurement. In May 2024, Boeing submitted a safety improvement plan to the FAA, which included 6 key performance indicators. This is what they should have done in 2019. Better late than never, but the cost was 346 lives and $80 billion. Compare this to Patagonia's accountability. They publish their entire supply chain online. Every factory, every worker's condition. When they find problems, they fix them publicly. That's real accountability. Your implementation. This month, identify your biggest business risk. Now ask, if this goes wrong, who specifically faces consequences? If the answer is the company or we'll review it, you have theater, not accountability. Make one leader personally responsible for measurable outcomes. Here's your complete 30-day action plan to avoid this $80 billion mistake. Week 1. Audit your warning signs. Schedule one-on-one meetings with 3 employees at different levels. Ask this specific question: what concern would you raise if there were 0 consequences? Their answers reveal your cultural truth. Week 2. Calculate your trust equation. Run that formula on your last 5 major decisions. Score each component 1 to 10. If self-interest averages above 7, you're in the danger zone. Boeing's self-interest was through the roof. They chose production speed over passenger safety. Week 3. Build real accountability. Identify your most significant business risk today. Assign one executive personal responsibility with quarterly measurable targets. Not team responsibility, personal, and tie it to their compensation. If Boeing had done this with quality control, they'd still have $80 billion. Week 4. Create public commitment share. One internal challenge with your customers or board. Not everything, but something real. This forces accountability. When Satya Nadella became Microsoft CEO, he publicly admitted their mobile strategy had failed. That transparency rebuilt trust. If you implement this framework, within 90 days you'll see increased reporting of concerns without fear, better early warning systems for problems, stronger stakeholder trust, and most importantly, you'll sleep better knowing you're not one scandal away from bankruptcy. Before you implement these 3 strategies, help other leaders discover these insights. The warning sign patterns, trust equation, and accountability systems we just covered are exactly what separates successful executives from the ones who end up in Senate hearings. Hit the like button if this $80 billion case study was valuable. Subscribe for more Fortune 500 strategies that actually work in today's business environment. And share this with another founder or executive who needs to see what happened to Boeing and FTX before it happens to them. Which strategy will you implement first this week? The warning sign audit, trust equation, or accountability system? Drop it in the comments below and join leaders who are transforming their organizations with these weekly insights.
This is the C-Suite Playbook, where Fortune 500 strategies meet actionable insights. Your competitive advantage starts here.